English language makes my education a lot more challenging here. In the end, as I had to retake like so many courses in a new language, in a totally new language, although I knew so much math and everything, physics and science, but I had to retake those classes again in order to learn them in another language, in English, to understand all the terms and expressions in English. So it certainly made it harder for me. And sometimes in the classroom I do know the answer to the question, but because of my language limits, I cannot just answer the question, so I don't raise my hand, although I know the answer. And for example, in writing classes, it takes a lot more effort for me as a foreigner, as an ESL student, to write an essay. I have to just revise my draft at least like 2 or 3 times more than a native speaker. So I do have to spend much more time on my essay in order to get a good grade. So it does, yeah, of course it affects my education here in United States.
In math class, there's this kid that sits next to me, and he says long words that I really don't understand, and I ask him if he can do it in smaller words for me, and he does it, but I feel kind of nervous because there's people all around me, and they say that, oh, she doesn't know this word, and oh, she should be in English class better than math.
And I work as a nurse, and it has become very handy for me, especially with adult patients that we have, because and they like it when we speak the native language, and we get better get better assessment of the patient, and they feel very confident when we're taking care of them.
In my workplace, I am the only non-native speaker. So everybody in my team, they speak English. It is only me who speaks English as a second language. But still, everybody is more than welcome to speak their own language if nobody else is around. If it's nothing related to work, it is always okay. There are groups of people that are they speak the same language, so whenever nobody else is around, they all speak in their own language, and there's no rule against that. And sometimes I myself speak Farsi with clients, just because in order to help them in a better way, to make him understand better and easier.
Sometimes there's a disadvantage because some of the doctors where I work at, they think that every Filipino, especially the adult, doesn't understand English, and they want me to translate for them.
La experiencia que tuve fue en el principio cuando no sabía nada, porque una vez fui al trabajo que me habían ofrecido y había los supervisores hablaban español, y pues para mí en ese tiempo no era difícil. Cuando ellos se fueron, que ya no trabajaron ahí, para mí se hizo difícil porque yo no podía entender lo que ellos me decían, y me decían limpia aquí, limpia allá, y yo no sabía lo que ellos me estaban diciendo, y pues como ellos se enojaban porque yo no les podía entender, entonces pues tuve que dejar el trabajo y salirme de ahí y buscar uno donde me pudieran entender.
I grew up in the Philippines with English as our the language during my school years. It has been a second language to us, and coming here in the United States, it is a plus to have a second language, especially here in California, because there's a lot of Filipino immigrants in here.
In the United States, in order to make friends, just because the main language spoken here is English, you have to speak English in order to interact with people. But still, for example, I can make friends easier with ESL students since we have something in common. We both speak English as a second language, so it's easier for me to make friends with ESL students. But I still try to balance my interactions between, I still have friends who speak Farsi. I hang out with those people, but I try to balance it. I want to make more friends, make more American friends, because I still need to improve my English skills and I need to learn from them, so I have to make friends who are actually native speakers. So there should be a balance in between. And there have been some situations which, like, just because I was not a native speaker, I couldn't speak English as well as, like, just like all the Americans do. I just sat somewhere like isolated, or I just tend to listen more than I speak. Sometimes it's hard for me, to interact with some people just because I don't know enough English, to keep up. So it does affect my interactions with people. So I try to interact with people who are actually more closer to my own level of English. It makes it easier for me to communicate with those people.
Okay.
I would propose that everybody should be nice and they should not be a bully to everybody else whose first language was Spanish and not English, because they might be learning these new words, so they might have a little trouble during class when they say wrong words.
So it does divide people in some way, and it does bring people together as well. But I think it divides people more than it brings them together.
I think here in California, or basically here in the county of San Jose, we do have a lot of languages, and I think it would be great if there are resources, or it would be more public, where one who just came here with a different language can easily access assistance in learning English, especially for like adult immigrants. It wasn't difficult for me because, as I said, I studied basically in the Philippines. We have English as a second language, but for the adult immigrants who haven't, some of them who have not gone to school, who speaks English and understands very basic English, it will be great if such education is available.
Yo digo que poniendo que haya más interés en los maestros para que ayuden a la gente que no habla inglés, como en la noche, en la tarde, que haya como clases para adultos, que personas que no sepan inglés, para que vayan a clases de perdido unas 2 horas o 3 para poder aprender uno. Sí, que haya un programa para que pues uno pueda ir en la tarde después que salga uno de trabajar, en vez de irse a las tiendas a andar mirando por allá cosas, pues de perdido ir a estudiar para aprender, para mejorar, para ser alguien mejor en la vida.